record there. Hello, we're back. Now it's International Gamebook Day, and we have someone who's an incredible artist, probably best known within the game book community as the map creator for the Lone Wolf series. But he is a man of many talents and many mysteries and many things that we're going to touch on, which is going to be fascinating. Francesco Mattioli, is that correct?
Hi.
Hello, thank you for joining us. I've been having a little look at your website, and I've seen a few things, and we've just chatted before we start recording about you started doing like an A to Z of Doctor Who.
Yeah, I'm a great fan
illustrations.
of the series. Yes, it came in Italy when I was a child, so I have seen the first 2 seasons of Tom Baker, and
Fantastic.
I was completely
Completely hooked. Although you drew Colin Baker on your website, you've got.
Sorry?
Have you done Tom? Have you done Tom as well? I saw Colin Baker. I didn't
Oh
see
yeah,
Tom.
because I was trying to make something for. It's something we do when you are an illustrator. You something made some illustration for the TV series or any series you like, and you try to just to contact maybe the people who is working on the series, just to show, yeah, I've done this because I love you.
Oh.
No one ever answer, so it's something you just do.
If you want, if you've done one on Tom, I can send it to him.
Oh yeah. So I
I
was trying to make an ABC book for Doctor Who, and I made a couple of monsters, Dalek, now Weird, I think, which was from Tom Baker's Hack in Space episode. Yes. This is my favorite.
Fantastic.
I'm going to rewind back. I decided to make the 6th Doctor because it was my less favorite, maybe, because it has all these very strange outfit, and I tried to make it a little more nice.
Tasteful?
Yeah.
Now, we've already gone on a tangent. I'm going to take you back off Doctor Who for the moment. As tempting as it is, I'm happy to talk about that all day, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to try and concentrate on game books and your art. And is it mainly maps that you've been doing for the game books, or have you been doing the other art as well?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of things for game books, because I started with maps for Lone Wolf and other series, but I also have a game book line which I illustrate as a cover artist, and mostly I'm an editor now. I'm a chief editor of Vincent Books, so I have to check all the translations and illustration and put everything together and find every mistake. I have edited about 50 game books now, so it's my main work at the moment.
Goodness me. And just to quickly go back to the cover illustrations of the game books you've been doing. What are the game books you've been doing the covers for?
It's an Italian line. I'll show you. Can I show you?
Please do. Yeah.
It's an Italian line we have with. For now, there are only Italian writers.
Cool. Oh, that's lovely.
And it's called Dedalo, and but we will have some English and international writers too in the future.
Yes, those. Do you think those would be translated into English?
I don't. We don't know. It's something I would like to try, but I don't know if we have a lot of work here now.
Yes,
so,
yes. I've been looking at the website.
I would really like to make a new line of international games, because I think these are very nice.
Can you tell us what they're about? They all look slightly different. Are they all?
Yeah, it's anthological. Every book has a different writer and a totally different theme, and it's a collection of books which would like to be some more experimental, not the classical fantasy adventure, but something quite different. We have maybe this is, for instance, is a time travel story in the 90s. Well, and every book has its. We have the next one will be a spy story with two characters following each other for all the book.
Oh wow!
And you take both the characters, so it's quite interesting. We like to publish something which is quite new and never seen before.
That's really cool. I think a lot of people would be interested in seeing those in English.
Well, I hope
maybe
so.
There's someone watching who can translate it and take it on.
It's something we think we would like to do, but it's hard to find enough time to to make the translation, and we have a lot of partners internationally, like apart from Ben Dever and Holmgard Press and the Manticore Verlag and the guys of Choose Tulu in Spain. So we have a lot of partners, but for now we can just take the book in Italy. We would like to. There are a lot of good writers in Italy which are experimenting on the language. So let's hope something will go outside.
So you're obviously you started. Did you start off in illustration?
Yeah, I started my career as an illustrator mostly. I made comic books in my first years, comic books and children books and some small video games. And my life changed maybe 15 years ago when I met Joe Dever, because we started all my.
So tell us about that. Let's not brush over that. Let's go into as much detail as you can remember.
Yes, I was working for children books and board games in those years. And as I told you before, when you like something, you are an illustrator, you start making art about it. And I just needed a nice map to hang on my wall. That's my first. That's what I needed. So I started to work on a big map of Lone Wolf World, because there was no such a land, there was a small map for the role-playing games, I think.
Yes.
But I wanted to put together all the maps for the game from the game books, which is something I did when I was a child. I made Xerox of the maps, and I put them all together to understand what was the universe like. And so I started to do this work in my spare time. I was working with my little daughter, the other daughter. My first daughter sleeping on my belly and working on night. And it took about 3 years to put all the maps together. But I arrived at the point where some parts were missing, because Lone Wolf didn't travel all the world, so there were parts with less details and something like this. So I made a couple of samples and I sent them to Joe Dever without expecting anything, as usual. But instead he answered, and it was a very nice answer. It was like something like I was waiting for years someone did something like this. So let's do together, and let's. And this was my first work, and it was this poster map.
Wow. That's great. Wow.
We made together.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Very big.
Good Lord. Whoa. That's great.
With all the streets and towns and everything.
Actually,
And
first question is, can you still get that?
at
Can
the moment,
people still buy that?
it's sold out. I have just a couple of copies for me, but the problem is I have too much work lately. So I can follow all the things I've done by myself.
Yeah.
But I think in the next years, we probably by the end of the year, we'll reprint it with Olmgar Press and Vincent Books. We will reprint the maps by the end
Would
of the
that
year, I
be
think.
available through Vincent Books, or would that be available
Yeah, I think
through
so.
Raven? Okay,
Yeah, I think
brilliant.
so.
Okay, so
Yeah, but because Jodeva was totally. I don't know how to say. I tried some self-production before meeting Jodeva, and they were always a failure, a very big failure. Often for instance, often I put the price too low, so the more I sold, the more I lost the money. So this was my. But Joe was very, very good in this kind of organization, and he took the work very seriously. He spent a couple of years, I think, 2 or 3 years, sending me all the details to finish the map.
Wow.
And then we printed, and he sold the map for me. And this was quite, it was quite a success. Yeah. A lot of fun, both of the map. So we went on, and we started a second project of 40 maps of the same continents. And this started a lot of projects all around the world. I made a lot of maps for the Swedish edition, the role-playing games, for the new game books of Vincent Books. We have this kind of idea, which now is now it's in the new edition of the English books too. But this one was a proposal by Mauro Corradini, who is the publisher of Vincent Books. We met, and he proposed me to make the maps in this fashion, and wow, very big maps. I like
great.
it.
Lovely. So when you're doing the maps, you say you kind of got inspiration from the original ones that are in some of the books.
Yeah, I had a very peculiar problem with my first map. I was so fond of Gary Chalk's work that I basically retraced every detail, and it was because I think if someone make the same with my maps, I can get quite angry about this. And but I was totally, this is my I'm totally fond of Gary Chalk's work, so it was just my way of I can't imagine a map different from his work.
So it's like started, you draw Italy different ways. Well, it's going to be quite similar.
Not easy when you have I probably have remade his maps a dozen of times when I was a child. I have a lot of maps I have redrawn with his style. So I started working with his style 100%. And when I met him in Modena, he came some years ago in a fair, I gave him my maps. Like, you are my great hero. This is my work. Please take it. And you are copying my map. I will show you.
Oh no!
But then I understood I was doing something wrong. So I think I spent a summer redrawing all the cities, icons, and many things to make them my own and not just a copy of Gary Chalk's work.
That's good. So the original now, and
when you're doing a map, the Jodeva and I ran away, something like this.
But you're
No,
safe. You haven't been.
I'm
You haven't
sorry
been
about
chased.
this, and I hope I have something I'd like to do with Gary Chalk in the future. So I hope we
Yeah,
will have a way to talk again about it. So,
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. So
but
when you actually
going
when you,
on, I started to be more free in the working on the maps. So I always take some inspiration from the original maps. Maybe you have. I show you one or two. For instance, in book 6, you have a part of a tree on a side in the original map. So I made a map with a big
great.
tree with all the.
Lovely. Oh,
And
fantastic.
also
I like a good coat of arms.
I tried to make this map very much nice and elaborated, because the original map in the Italian edition was very ugly. So
Yeah.
I tried to balance and well, it's.
Do you have a lot of old maps, like real kind of 18th,
Yeah, I
17th
have
century
some.
maps that you
Yeah,
reference
I think
on?
my main inspiration is from 16th century maps, 15th and 16th century maps, especially for the city maps I made for the Swedish. Probably, I don't know if you know them. Those were very inspired from 16th century, more or less.
Yeah, and because you've got
I
a very
study a lot.
visual.
It's difficult to get this kind of style today, because they were maybe they were not very good to draw details, or you can see the houses all not in good perspective, maybe. But on the other hand, they have they were. I don't know how can I say. They were not drawn by ink and paper. They were on metal and I don't know what's the term in
Etchings.
English.
Yeah, is that right?
Etchings.
Yeah.
So if you look them closely, they are really precise in the details, and it's hard to remake now.
Yes, because you don't just do maps of countries and continents. You also do dungeons and ships and all kinds of.
Yes, I made
isometric
some of them
drawings.
for the role-playing games, especially for Askfageln, the Swedish publishers, Tove and Anders, and we made this very good project together. Which
oh wow! Ooh, that looks intriguing. What's in there?
Yeah, it's a collection
Wow.
of city maps and a lot of other maps we made together, and it was probably my best work.
Oh, that looks absolutely gorgeous.
Now, because
and are these available?
Oh yeah, you can find them on the web store.
Cool.
Or maybe yes, I think on the web store. There are a lot of there.
Oh wow!
This was a totally crazy project, because they were printed both sides.
Yeah.
And Jodever made the layout of the city.
Okay, so what? Where is this a city of? What game?
This is Holmgard, the capital of Sommerlund, Lone Wolf.
That's so gorgeous.
And if you know Lone Wolf books, you can retrace all his.
Wow. Okay. So
and find all the
you must have played these a lot as well to actually map them out. Is a lot of note taking, a lot of. How long does it take you to kind of build a map up from the games?
Sorry.
It must be quite a lot of note taking and playing and sort of working out the maps where things are going. It's not just I'm going to draw a map.
Well, there's a lot
If
of
you can play through
there's a
it.
lot of world building. I don't know how to say. We had a lot of chats with Joe Dever and Vincent Lazzari and
Yes.
Florent Arrow were the guys who helped me to make all these very nice things. And we had a lot of discussion about maybe the size of every detail. How much is tall this tower? How much is along the street? Or for instance, when we mapped the monastery, I had a long chat with an architect to know precisely the size of the dormers or every. I think we try to be the most realistic as possible. I know it's just games, so you don't need to be particularly realistic. You just need not to make something very strange,
horrendous error.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think at least when we started to make this kind of maps, many role-playing games maps were just you have a place here where maybe you have to find some hundreds people, and you see the size, and it's impossible to fit 200 people inside. So yeah. Or when you see the maps of ships. I don't know if you have ever seen
I've seen some fantastic cross sections and things.
Yeah, cross section of a ship. Always I see them, and this is completely insane, and no boat can have this kind of structure inside. It is absolutely not realistic. So if I have to draw something, I try to be the most realistic as possible. It's quite a work. Now I work for other lines. I have the One Ring, which is the role-playing games of Tolkien's Middle Earth, and I have Lex Arcana, which is set in ancient Rome. So I have a lot of research. Part of my work is
So obviously you just mentioned a few things you're working on at the moment. I spoke to Ben, which will be part of the interviews. Are you working alongside Ben Deaver at the moment on forthcoming titles?
With Ben Deaver, you said?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm working on the new definitive edition. I'm doing the map for him, and we have many projects for the website and for the maps. Unfortunately, many of the projects regarding Lone Wolf maps were put in standby after the Joe Dever sadly passed away, because they have to write the last books.
Yeah.
So we postponed everything after the completion of the series. Book 32 is missing too, so I think after book 32 we'll start talking again about maps and projects. We have a lot of places we'd like to map again, but we simply have not time to do it now, so you have to wait a little. And
I know there's a lot of fans who'd want the definitive collection.
Yeah, of course, it's a quite a problem in English language mainly. We have the new edition. We have the first 23 books now, and the last ones were published in Italy. It was Mauro Corradini who asked Joe Dever to start writing the last book, so we are quite proud of it. I don't know if because every publisher usually have the complete line and then publish the last books.
Yeah.
But we noticed that we can publish 4 books a year, maybe. So we decided, Mauro decided to publish book 29 immediately without waiting the 10 years. And this started all the this last rush to the final books.
And it sounds like they are doing well, but are game books really very popular? Are you seeing them kind of having a new resurgence, or have they never lost their popularity?
Yeah, I can talk about Italy. And what I see in Italy, game books were totally disappeared in the 90s. By the end of the 90s, they were totally disappeared from the shelves. And we had the publisher tried again with the 2007 new edition, the collector's edition, but they published 4 books maybe, and they didn't have any success. But it was 2013, and Vincent Books started with these new editions, which are deluxe for
Brilliant.
Maybe for the fans who read the books in the 80s and want to have a good edition now. And this was a good idea, I think. And this started a new interest in game books in Italy.
Yeah.
Because it had quite a success. The first book it's continuously selling. Today we sell maybe 2,000 copies every year.
Cool. Fantastic.
And it's not bad at all for Italy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's fantastic. And I've seen obviously you work with Raven Distribution as well.
Yeah, it's the same. Vincent Books, it's a part of Raven Distribution.
Yes, and you've just taken on the Fighting Fantasy books as well.
Yeah, recently. We are republishing them. Maybe next year we should start with the first one.
That's great.
Firetop Mountain.
What's happening with the artwork? Are you for the
covers?
This is... have you been asked, or have you put yourself forward to do it?
It's a very difficult question. I have fans which are calling me personally in my phone, asking, "What are you doing with illustration?"
Yeah.
It's a very complex question because we had the reprint by Magazzini Salani in Italy.
Yes.
Some years ago, but they didn't go very well, and mostly the fans were not happy about them. I know I'm an illustrator first, so I know it's very difficult to remake this kind of illustration because they are really iconic, especially sorcery ones. In Italy we had a problem with Fighting Fantasy because it arrived split in many series. So it's not well known like Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf, it was maybe the first book which had a great success in the 80s. So everyone know Lone Wolf. But Fighting Fantasy were split in at least 3 or 4 series. And the one which had the most success was Sorcery, the 4 books miniseries.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
And so many fans are waiting for our
Brilliant.
And those illustrations are really iconic. We always
I think also for me
and to have new illustration in our books because you have to give something new to the readers, I think. And we are in a period when you can have very nice illustration in books. In the 80s, you had to draw with ink and pen very simply because the printing was quite awful. But now you can make a very nice illustration for your book. So we try to we always try to have new illustrations, but it's hard to choose the illustrator who can replace John Blanche. It's really hard.
You've got to find someone who's going to appeal to the parents who are buying it for the kids, and also for young people to
yes, of course, you have to
as well.
To create some books which can appeal to new people. I think my role here is not just to make books nice for the old readers, old like me. This is our first need, because a lot of people of my age like to have a new edition of the books they love. But we also need to carry on this legacy to the new generation. So when I go to the game shows and we have our game books, a lot of young people come and take the books, and
that's good.
And this is really good, I think, because you have to pass on to the next generation. This is my work.
Yeah. No,
so
definitely.
that because we have also new books, and we publish the classic, let's say the classic books, and also quite a nice series of new books.
I saw that you had Choose Cthulhu, as well, which is fantastic. So that's a new one, and brilliant.
This is our edition. This is the second series. They are going very well. I think we are about 1,000 copies each.
Brilliant.
In the 80s, the books were very popular. I think Lone Wolf sold about 2 million in the 80s in Italy, and the books were about 100,000 copies each, maybe, in the moment of the great success. But now we have it's not easy to
it's a different world, isn't it? But
it's a different world, but I think we are going very well. I think 1,000 copies is quite a success now. Because we are not completely distributed in every bookstore, so it's quite. I'm quite satisfied. This is just the beginning, we can say, because things are continuously going on. We are opening new lines and a new distribution. So let's see.
That's exciting. So can you talk about any obviously we have some future ones, or any ones that you can tease us with that might be coming in the next few years? Any other lines that you're introducing?
Oh, well, we have a lot of lines now. We have all the works of Joe Dever, and we probably publish Combat Heroes 2 in the future. We are thinking about it.
Oh wow! Yes.
We hope to find it's not easy to contact the people who worked on the books, but it's something we would like to do. And we have Jonathan Green's books. We have published Alice, and Oz is coming soon, and we are going on with the Ace game book series. And we have this partnership with Manticore Verlag. So we published the Rider of the Black Sun and Metal Heroes will be published soon. And we have an agreement for maybe all their game books. So we are starting Thousand Adventures and all the series they are publishing will be translated in Italy.
That's amazing.
Then, we have the I don't know what's the name in English. The
Captive
comic
graphic novel. Graphic novel.
Macaca Books. Yeah,
Brilliant.
we are going to publish
That looks
all of
beautiful.
them too. We are a lot of things, and
Goodness me.
in Daedalus series, this one we will publish some of the books which are not from big series or big publishers.
It sounds amazing. I think
yeah,
you
we
know,
have
your
quite a
company's
large,
really, yeah, it's really
quite a,
brought in everything that, you know, well, probably all your favorite books as well. I'm hoping. So it
yeah,
must
I
be.
try to do like this. I read a lot of game books in English or other languages, and when I find something I really like, I contact them and I try to publish it myself. It's my work,
Yeah.
and it's very interesting. There are a lot of people which are writing very nice books around all the world. We have a Tasmanian author which will be published, and this one, for instance,
Cool.
is very nice. And Night Shift is almost complete, and a lot of books.
Wow.
We are doing a lot.
Francesco, thank you.
That's why I have no time to make maps anymore, because
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, republish the ones you've done, because I think people would just be happy with those for the moment.
Now I have. It's hard to work on these books in Italy because you have to translate them, and these have a lot of problems. You have to check the translation is okay, and so you have to make the tiny map of numbers and check every possible route and see if the translation is correct in every route. And if you have an item, the name must be the same in every time you mention it. So that's a check we have to do, and we find many mistakes.
Oh, yes.
So
I know the feeling.
maybe little mistakes, and we make a very deep revision of our game books. So I have some people who are helping me now, and I hope to share my work with some people here, because I can go on very much without going
Fantastic.
crazy.
Francesco, thank you. If people want to sort of follow what you're doing, are you on sort of social media? What's the best way people
mainly
can
on
get in
Facebook.
contact?
I am on Facebook mainly, so there I publish all my stuff. It's quite a working profile. I mean, I never post things about me mostly, and I post a lot of previews of my works and maps and everything.
Wow. And are you going to any conventions? Are you
surely in Italy? I will be in Lucca and Modena Play every year, and also I was starting to tour Europe, but we had COVID, and so I had to stop. I have been to Gothenburg some years ago.
Oh, cool.
Which is a very nice convention with Tove and Anders. And I have been to Manticon. Yeah. And I wanted to go to Fighting Fantasy Fest, but it was the year of virus emergency, so
yes,
I had to.
It's tricky. It's tricky for many people.
I didn't do it, and this year I'm too busy to move from my chair.
Yeah, you've got too much to do. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming along and chatting to us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we can't wait to see what you come up with next. It's going to be a very exciting time.
I show you also this one for the last thing, because we didn't touch it.
Oh, cool. Nice.
This is my personal game book I make in my spare time, so I'm not making much of them.
Yeah, that's great. And what's
that
about?
First one it has been translated in English thanks to Jonathan Green, who helped me to.
Oh, wow!
This is my personal game book, and it's a visual.
It's a visual awesome!
Game book. You have
that's great.
This small mouse who can go to the arrows, and.
Oh, that's a lovely idea. That's brilliant. Where can they get that? Where can people
on Amazon?
Buy that? Brilliant.
It's self-publishing in Amazon. You have just to follow the arrows
Nice.
and find. And the first one is like choose your own adventure, has a lot of endings, but I wrote already 4 of them.
Excellent. Yeah. Hey, brilliant, brilliant. Well, I'm glad we got that
And
in
I'm
at the
going
end
to
then.
translate them in English in the next years or so when I have time.
That's
I wanted to
amazing.
show you because it's my personal work.
No,
So
that's brilliant. That's
I'm
brilliant.
very happy about it.
Well, we'll go check those out now.
I think
thank you.
I think I told you everything I do. That's
Yeah, no,
my
it's
life at the
amazing.
moment. I have
Well,
mostly game book everywhere in my house. So
that's brilliant. Well, I think a couple of years' time there'll be even more stuff we can pour over. But for the moment, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing your work even more.